Father, at a Society of St. Pius V Mass, during the canon of the Mass, is the name of the Pope and the local Novus Ordo bishop of the Novus Ordo diocese, are they prayed for by name in a Society of St. Pius V canon of the Mass? And if not, why not?
Well, there's no such thing as a Society of St. Pius V canon of the Mass.
Okay.
You know that. But if the question is, do I, as a priest of the Society of St. Pius V, because I don't feel entitled to speak for all the priests of the Society of St. Pius V, they can speak for themselves. They will. They would, certainly. But I do not mention their names. No.
Why not?
I don't mention their names because I would be lying if I said so. I cannot say I'm one in faith, and that's what it says. I mean, despite the fact that people want to dispute that, it says what it says in Latin, unicum, and one in faith, with all true and orthodox teachers of the Roman Catholic faith, that you are united with them in faith. And I'm not united with Francis in faith. I'm not. I know that for a fact. In fact, you know, somebody asked me, well, do I believe Francis is infallible? And I would say, well, in the sense that one is infallibly fallible, yes. It seems that whenever he speaks on any dogmatic issues, he's almost infallibly wrong. He infallibly includes something that is at least offensive to pious ears, if not suspect of heresy, or worse, even just outright heretical. And so when he speaks, almost infallibly he comes out with something that is just offensive to the Catholic faith. And that's not the kind of infallibility you want in the Supreme Pontiff, right? Obviously. But he's definitely got that charism, but it's not from heaven.
So what do you say in the Mass, in the canon of the Mass?
I do what the Church has always prescribed during interregnum, when there is not a valid Pope reigning. Okay, you know, some would say, well, you're making a judgment, therefore, dogmatically for all the Catholic people in the world that Francis is not a Pope. And I would say, well, no, I don't presume to have that authority. Okay, so I'm not making any statement of authority on the subject, binding anybody else or anyone else's conscience. But it's just that I know it's wrong to lie, and I don't have the same faith as Francis, and I can't stand there before the altar, before the tabernacle, and as I'm about to pick up the sacred host and consecrate it the body and blood of Christ, I can't tell a lie, you know, before God and man, that I'm one in faith with him. That's not true.
If you don't mind, Father, what is the formula for when there is a period of time with no Pope in between?
When it simply says that he is one with all of the true teachers of the Catholic and Apostolic faith.
Okay.
It just doesn't mention the names, you know.
Okay.
It would be a contradiction to mention the name of one, the bishop, the Novus Ordo bishop, and Francis, to choose between them. You know, I've heard of some somewhat traditional priests, if there is a thing, somewhat traditional, how do you do that? Quasi-traditional priests who will say, well, I'll use Francis's name, but not the bishop's name, because he's clearly not, you know, Catholic. Or I will use the bishop's name, but not Francis's name. I'm sorry, but they come together. The authority of one is united, you know, linked to the other, if there is any authority there at all. So that is the most absurd position, you know. The fact is, I'm just acknowledging what I think is a patent fact, that Francis's faith and my faith are not the same faith. I do not believe what he believes, and he does not believe what I believe. What I believe is historically the traditional Roman Catholic faith. Mm-hmm. He does not.